Hey, it's Joe Glines, and if you're using AutoHotkey with Excel and you're either grabbing or setting a lot of text in Excel, there's several ways you can do it. You can loop over each cell, which actually takes a while using a for loop to get each value in each cell, or you can use what's called a SafeArray. And I'm not going to get into all the special principles of SafeArray, mostly because I don't know them, but I do understand at least to some degree how they work, and so I want to demonstrate this video here. Basically, all I'm doing right here is I get a handle, I connect to the open application Excel window. In this line right here, I'm going to store the content of that array into SARR, right? And that, notice the one thing I want to point out here is that I don't put like dot, usually you would think you'd put dot value or dot text here. And in order to dump it into an array in AutoHotkey, and let me do this here. Let's do a message box is object. Oops, I already put it there, 1. So I'm going to save this and hit my hotkey. Oh, and I put it at 1. I'm an idiot. SARR, right? I'm expecting when I relaunch this and run it that it comes back with a 1, and that means that the content in SARR is an object. It's not just a variable, right? So that dumped this one line, dumped all of this cells. What do I have it here? A1 through L29 into an array into AutoHotkey. And then, of course, if you actually want to do something with it, you want to peek at it. So all I'm doing here is I'm doing a for loop for each row in that S array. And this word's not any key. Where it could change this to whatever we want, right? Whatever a valid thing is. And then we do another for loop over that, over each cell in each row, and we're going to append data. This variable I'm creating called data, we're going to keep appending to it the cell.txt. Now this is where we can change it to txt or to value. What do I want between them? Let's do a comma. I think those look nice. And then I'm going to shove that all into a message box. So reload it. Now I'm going to run it. Now it's going to go grab that data really quickly and then iterate over it to display it. So I hit my button. Bam. There's all that data. The one thing I got to say is when you go to iterate over it like this, it keeps going. It goes across. As you can see here, there's the 1.1, 2.1, right? It's going across here to the 12.1. And then it keeps going right into the next row. So there's not an easy way to differentiate where you're starting and stopping there. But it's very, very fast. And of course, we could also set data the same way. Now, let's say we wanted to access just a point. So let's comment this one out too. So let's say I wanted to access a given value in the array. And here's where we get all of this. We store A1 to C20. Let's keep it consistent here. What is it? L29. I had less data earlier. I was just playing with it. I wanted to add some more data. And I'm going to run this, and I want to look at what's in cell 1.1, which should be, ironically, or A1, should be 1.1. And there it is. And because I used value here, that's why it's coming back with these zeros. I think this one, if I remember right, I have to still use... Yeah, I can't use text. The one up above, I can use text, but here I have to use value. So let's go ahead and prove this out. So that's a 1.1. And if we go to 1.2, it should be cell B1. Oops, B1. So that'll be 2.1 and a bunch of zeros. Or if I add a row here, so let's do 2, 2, which is going to be B2 right here. And it's... Oh, well, I don't think 2, 2 or 2.2. So there we are. In B2, I think I sunk my battleship. Now, so that's just a great, easy way to show how quickly you can access, the entire array, pinpoints what you want, do what you want with it. But in order to grab it, or otherwise you'd be looping over each cell and that actually takes a while when you have a lot of data. I do want to come back up into here and demonstrate in this one. Let me just add a return here to stop it from going down there. So rerun this. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, because I didn't uncomment that line. Here we go. And let's go ahead and get rid of that. So save it, reload it, run it. Now it went and grabbed all of that, shoved it in there, and notice it's 1.1. That's because, see, I have here text, so it's 1.1. If I change this text to value, this one I think I can use value on. And we're going to have all those crazy decimal places, right? Which you may or may not want, but it just shows you that you can actually, it does have the data. This is still interacting with it like an Excel object kind of thing. But it's just a great handy way to get or set a lot of data in Excel with one call, instead of going over each one separately. So if you have a bunch in another file and you're trying to dump it in here, maybe a SafeArray is the right way for you. All right, cheers.